You know, the least you guys could have done was give me some leg room back here to move in
Plenty
here.
of leg room.
Are you kidding me? I gotta reach over and sit down like this. I mean, it makes me feel a little claustrophobic. But anyway, I digress. So, let's talk about motion-based gaming.
Motion-based gaming?
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Exactly.
Or
Either or.
yeah. And no, I am not wearing the same shirt turned around backwards.
Anyway, motion gaming.
Yes. We're talking about Kinect, PlayStation Move, and none other than the Wii itself.
And some classics.
The Wii,
Yeah.
the Wii motion bases. Not the Wiimote, but the Wii.
The Wiimote.
That's it. I'm just.
You know exactly what I mean. All right. Well, let's get down to business, guys. All right.
Okay.
What do you?
All right. So, let's start out with the Wii. That's the one that
It
everyone
sucks.
started out
It
with.
sucks.
How can you just say that the Wii sucks when it spawned a generation of motion gaming?
No.
I mean,
It didn't spawn a generation. It set back a generation of gaming because everyone was so focused on trying to come up with the next new fad that it just halted all production and everything sucked. You know,
Wii Sports was one of the most popular Wii games, and it was actually pretty good.
That's only for the tennis, though. Nobody else liked anything else. in
Bowling
that
was
game.
fun. I enjoyed playing the shooter game where you were like shooting the little targets.
that was replay.
That was
It was gimmicky, but it was actually a lot of fun.
The Wii
It was-
just shows how people are cattle. one person likes something that shouldn't like it in the first place, and then somebody else likes it, and it just kind of stampedes from there.
I'm going to go with the assumption that 3 million plus people can't be wrong.
Oh no, 3
Oh,
million
they
plus
can.
people can
They
be
can.
wrong.
Because people are stupid.
Yes, let's not forget that a long time ago, years ago, they thought that the Earth was the center of the universe. 3 million people thought the Earth was the center of the universe, and one person looked at them and said, "Wow, y'all are a bunch of idiots."
And 10 years ago, everybody thought the Sega Dreamcast was the future of gaming.
Hey, the Sega Dreamcast had some good ideas.
Okay.
It might have been the C
Seriously,
student in school, but it had some good thoughts.
seriously, the Wiimote and the Wii itself is an excellent idea with poor execution. If it worked the way that you would think it was supposed to work, then it would be great. But it just didn't. And that's what I see with a lot of the other motion-based games. Good ideas with poor execution.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my only problem with motion gaming. I actually kind of like motion gaming. I'm that gamer that will buy those games. You know, I have a Wii for more than just Smash Brothers,
Yeah.
and I played the game, and I did enjoy Wii Play because when you first play it, you're like, okay, this is kind of neat until you try to point and shoot at something and it doesn't work, or mainly when you play Twilight Princess and you're super excited about it, and you're thinking you're gonna be able to do something cool like a sword, and it's all preset movement and everything else. I mean, again, good idea, poor execution.
Well, see, when I played Twilight Princess, I had no problem with it. So I think maybe it's just noobs can't play it. I don't know.
No,
I'm going to be your foil here because I'm totally against motion-based gaming in particular because it's just so frustrating that you want it to do what you want it to do, but say for instance the PlayStation Zapper. I hate that you have to hold that thing up to your TV in order to move around and look where you want it to look. If you ever set it down, it's going to look down with you.
okay.
Well, there you go, though. I mean, you've got such a primitive idea where they've got such an early-based motion sensor that was amazing, that the fact that you could even get it to look down like that.
Well,
And
sure.
you do know that you don't have to use the sharpshooter. Now,
aware of
and
that.
it's much better without the sharpshooter because then you can sit in a normal position, and you know you're controlling your movement with the navigation controller. That's what's
Oh
called.
yeah, but the
With
fact
navigation
that
controller
the zapper was even made just
I do
frustrates
agree.
me.
I do agree.
Because-
so now you're talking about peripherals, and you're not talking about the motion-based gaming itself.
Well, I'm talking about the idea
Okay.
of
It's all
having
encompassing.
of
Yeah.
I can
just
see where it all
everything
fits in.
that has to do with motion-based gaming
All right.
in particular.
So we've touched on the Wiimote. We're gonna come back. We've touched on the Move. We're gonna come back.
Yeah.
What about Kinect?
The Kinect is another one of those. It had such a nice idea. No longer do I have to hold a controller. People that, like anybody that has trouble with the double joysticks, they potentially could play shooter games as they came out on there.
How are you gonna play a shooter with no controller?
The potential is there.
Well, here's what
It is possible.
Here's what I like about the Kinect, at least. I like that it's not entirely motion-based; it's also voice-based as well. For some games, like Mass Effect
Mm-hmm.
and I think Call of Duty. No, not Call of Duty, but some other shooter that I can't really name right now.
Because it's horrible.
Maybe, but at least you can make voice commands. That's what I kind of like with it
When
instead
I
of
played
having
Mass
like
Effect
go through
3,
menu systems.
It was, I played it using the Kinect voice commands to choose my dialogue options, to throw grenades, and it worked. I didn't have a single wrong dialogue option from actually speaking it.
That's sure.
Yeah,
And you do know the Move as the voice.
it does.
As a matter of fact, I don't
But
use Bluetooth.
I
just
don't
use
like.
Move.
I don't like the mic for the move.
I think the mic for the camera is amazing. I just use the mic for the camera. Like James, me and you played online.
Oh yeah.
And I just use the mic for the camera. I don't use the Bluetooth.
I've had a couple of issues with the move.
With the Kinect, I have an issue with, it was supposed to be able to be used in a party system. I was supposed to be able to talk while playing games and using my Kinect as a mic. But it's awful as a mic. It is awful as a mic.
Oh, it is definitely awful as a mic. I mean, it'll pick up any
Everything.
little bit of sound.
Where the PlayStation Move has an actual echo canceller built in. And you set that up and it won't pick up your TV while you're talking. I don't understand
I guess
why
that's
the
the
Kinect
perks
didn't do
of
it.
having it being made by Sony. Then.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's ups and downs.
yeah, and there's ups and downs for both of them. I still have yet to see how you're supposed to play a shooter with a Kinect.
With the original idea of the Kinect, it was supposed to have digit recognition. It was supposed to be able to detect every one of my fingers and their motion placement. So I would be able to pull my arms up. If I want to shoot from the hip, I'd be down here. I'd pull the trigger. If I want to move up the sights, I'd pull them up. And if I want to throw a grenade, I'd reach for my belt. One side would be grenades, one side would be flashbangs. If I wanted to melee, I would just butt with the gun or I'd kick. There's so much, the potential is there if they can get the hardware and software to communicate correctly.
See, and I think that's where I really have the issues is the hardware and the software. Because again, you need so much space for the Kinect. You don't need as much space for the Move.
No, I
You don't
agree.
need as much space for the.
Granted,
for a
there was
Yeah,
a
that's
third-party game company that came out and they made a hardware mod for the Kinect where you need about half as much space.
Half as much space. See, and the Kinect is racist. I want to know that how come no matter how many lights I turn on in my house, the Kinect still can't see my black butt.
Self.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not that dark. But yet the Kinect still can't see me? I just don't get it. I play Dragon
Maybe
Ball
it's
Z.
scared.
It's black too! We're brothers! It shouldn't be scared of me. But I play Dragon Ball Z Kinect. Oh my god, worst experience ever.
Why?
Because-
it's so fun.
One, I was exhausted.
Well, that's the point.
Of course.
And two, I couldn't get it to do anything. I went for Big Bang Shot, my character just stood there. I went for Kamehameha Wave, and my character just stood there.
You don't
I
go
think
for
that's
special moves in Kinect fighting games. You flail. The people that win Kinect fighting games are epileptic.
Or they've been playing a lot of DDR.
I think as far as, and maybe I'm a little biased here, but as far as true motion-based gaming, the closest it's gotten to working is Sony's Move. Only because it uses the combination of the sensor for detection, and the camera to see you.
But on the downside, you now have 3 items that you have to worry about.
Correct.
Versus one connected Wiimote or just one box sensor.
Correct. And I do agree with that. When I first found out that, because when I first saw the move, I was amazed. I was incredibly happy. Sorcery was a really big selling point. Now, granted, the actual game was very disappointing.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was only disappointing to the point where it was, well, they pushed this game back, so they have to be making it better. It was still just as good as it was when they showed it at E3. And, you know, the mechanics of turning up to drink.
Yeah.
I mean, everything works perfectly. And being able to aim different locations. But having to know that you have to have the navigation controller as well was a large downside.
Yeah.
And I will agree. But as far as the frustration, it still works in low light. It can see my black butt. The camera system works. You know, I just don't have as now. Granted, Sony hasn't done anything with it yet.
No.
Like it shocks me that they have this semi-decent system that they're just not doing. The best thing they've done is Heavy Rain.
Even with the new move that's coming out, it's really just the move with an updated camera.
Yeah,
updated camera and a little updated hardware in the actual move controller. But the camera, now you have 2 cameras and a move controller.
Well, I think probably they may reveal more when they reveal it. I mean, hopefully it'll be better, but chances are I probably won't get one just because I don't use motion-based controllers that much.
The main thing I have a Kinect and I have the Move, and the main thing I use is a Kinect. Not even for motion gaming, but just for the voice command.
Now, I will say, I think that's so cool. I do. I think it's incredibly cool. It does make me wonder what happens if we're just talking and we're talking about an Xbox and then somewhere in short, you know, something that sounds like on happens. I mean, I do wonder if stuff like that, but I still think that.
But that's just to be seen. I mean, it could happen with anything.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get when it finally comes out.
Alright, so what do we got for news?
For news today, we're going to be talking about the Google Home Console.
Oh, I heard about this.
Oh,
basically,
from you.
Basically, they're going to be making the leap into the home console market.
But wait, don't they have the Ouya?
They don't have the Ouya. They have let the Ouya use their Android OS.
Oh.
But now they're like, kind of like everybody let people that ran Netflix use movies, and now they're like, Netflix is such a big deal, we're going to pull all these movies out and start our own. That's what Google's doing. Google is going to be making their own little Android marketplace game console.
So how's it going to compare to the Ouya?
Anything that has to deal with the Ouya is basically going in the garbage. The Ouya is being received so poorly that I don't understand why Google wants to branch into this market.
Because they want to take over the world. It's basically
well, it's not going to be done through the Ouya.
Ouya. Well,
probably why they're coming out with this.
I guess what that means is we have to do an update on the game state.
We do.
And the Ouya. And this new Google console that's going to be named.
It doesn't have a name.
Unnamed Google console.
It's going to be Google Home Device, OS Plus, Android Marketplace.
We'll call it the Google Station.
Google Station.
Google Station. I like that. That is trademarked by 3 guys being allowed to be ignorant. Google Station. Now watch. That's actually what's good.
That'll be what it's called.
And
we're going to be the ones.
And we're going to say Google for millions.
So, all right, YouTube. Well, that's it for this week. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Before we do the Ouya episode, if you have any other ideas, make sure you leave them as comments. We will see them. We do read. We also respond. Catch you later. Wait, why am I turning the camera off?
Because you're the closest one.